54 degrees and sunny, a perfect Saturday afternoon to play two here in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. I'm Justin Answell. Thanks so much for tuning in on Stadium and the Patriot League Network. It's a Patriot League Conference clash, the first of a three-game weekend set between these Pennsylvania rivals, the Lehigh University Mountainhawks, 14-21 overall, 4-10 in league play, and the Bucknell University Bison, 12-22 overall, 9-8 in Patriot League play. The Bucknell Bison have turned it up a few notches these last couple weeks after a dismal start to Patriot League play, sitting at just 2-6. They've won 7 of their last 9 league games, coming off a tough outing against Navy on Wednesday in Annapolis, although they got an encouraging outing from Jack Graybeck and Kiefer Rawlings slugged a home run. This team is ready. Final 3 home games of the year for the Bucknell Bison. It is senior day for 6 outstanding student athletes who've exemplified class and character with this program the last 4 years. Congrats to Luke Johnson, Mike Korchak, Kiefer Rawlings, Chucky Scales, Mike Stevens, and today's Game 1 starting pitcher, Connor Van Hoose. The umpires are ready. We're just about ready to hit the field for the national anthem. This will be the 183rd all-time meeting between Lehigh and Bucknell. They first met way back in 1901. Last year, Bucknell took 3 of 4 from the Mountain Hawks, and over the last 30 games, it's been all orange and blue. They've won 21 of the last 30 contests. For Lehigh, this is a huge series for Coach Sean Leary's club. They're currently sitting 5th of the 6 teams in the Patriot League standings. The top 4 teams qualify for the Patriot League Conference Tournament next month, with the 1 seed hosting the 4 seed, the 2 seed hosting the 3 seed. Your first objective, get in the tournament, then you can worry about jockeying for position in terms of seeding. But this is a huge weekend for Lehigh with a great weekend. I'm talking about a sweep or minimum take 2 at 3. They can be right back in the swing of things to get back to the conference tournament after being shunned last year. For Coach Heather's club, they just need to continue to play crisp baseball. As I mentioned, they've won 7 of their last 9 league games. This is a squad that challenged themselves in non-conference play, taking on ranked teams like the number 3 Arkansas Razorbacks and the number 9 Duke Blue Devils, and that prepared them for the prestigious Patriot League. Pitching matchup in Game 1 should be a good one. Right-hander Levi Stout, the sophomore, 2-6, 2.91 ERA against the ace for the Bison, Connor Van Hoose, the preseason pitcher of the year, 5-4 with a 3.04 ERA. Yeah, his Patriot League ERA is 0.55. 7 days ago against Holy Cross, he twirled a gem. 2 hits, 7 innings, 12 strikeouts for Van Hoose. It was his 4th double-digit strikeout performance this season and the 6th of his career. Perfect spring weather here in Lewisburg. Good crowd on hand here at Depew Field. Bucknell and Lehigh about to get it going. Navy and Army are battling each other for a doubleheader today, and also Lafayette's taking on Holy Cross. We'll give you score updates throughout the contest. The Bucknell Bison have taken the field. Lehigh will bat after the national anthem. We are just about ready for baseball. Game 1 of a doubleheader from Depew Field here on Stadium and the Patriot League Network. Let's meet the starting lineups for the visiting Lehigh University Mountain Hawks on the season. The Lehigh Mountain Hawks are 14-21 overall, 4-10 in the Patriot League. Here's their starting 9. Their catalyst is Chris Kersey, the senior, batting .354, second best batting average in the Patriot League. Their slugger is left fielder Ryan Malloy. He has 3 home runs and 19 RBI, good for second most RBI in the Patriot League. The head coach for Lehigh is Sean Leary in his 23rd year. He was a former player for the Lehigh University Mountain Hawks, class of 1993, played shortstop for him. He eventually earned his master's at Lehigh, and now he's been a head coach for 23 years. The pitcher for the Bucknell University Bison is one of the best to ever don the orange and blue, right-hander Connor Van Hoose. He has been sensational, particularly his senior year. Preseason Patriot League Pitcher of the Year, and he was a first-team All-League selection last year. Numbers on the year, 5-4, 9 games, 3.04 ERA, 78 strikeouts, 26 walks. Opponents only hitting .201 against Connor Van Hoose. He's coming off a gem A 2-hit shutout last weekend in Worcester against the reigning Patriot League tournament champs. Struck out 12 in that outing. His 4th double-digit strikeout performance this year. In Patriot League play, 47 strikeouts in 33 innings, only yielded 2 earned runs. He's in the midst of a 12 consecutive scoreless inning streak. Here's the defense behind Connor Van Hoose. They've got the athletic Chucky Scales in center field. No John Paul Bell. He's out with a head injury. So you got Tyler Winsig moving to right field, Luke Hartman moving to left field, and the batter made of Connor Van Hoose is Evan Klugerman. So Chris Kersey about to dig things in and get things going. I'm Justin Answell from Depew Field. This will be a 7-inning game. We'll have about a 35-minute break in between contests and bring you a 9-inning game for our second contest. Connor Van Hoose ready to rock and fire. One of 6 seniors honored in a lavish ceremony prior to first pitch. I'm sure emotions are running high for the Alexandria, Virginia native. He rocks, fires the first pitch, dots the inside corner. It's officially go time here from Depew Field. Next pitch to the leadoff hitter. It's cranked to left center field. Hartman gets a beat on it with his glasses on. He makes the catch, and there's one away. This will bring up Mike McGuire, sophomore, hitting .252, no homers, and 14 RBI. Both these teams had a midweek league game earlier this week. It was Bucknell that lost in Annapolis 6-4 to the Navy Mids, and it was Lehigh who outlasted Lafayette. Low and in, count 2-0. But Connor Van Hoose, he's been sensational. I mean, you think about the first outing of the season against Arkansas. He allowed 7 earned runs in an inning and a third. Since that outing, his last 8 starts, he's only yielded 11 earned runs. And maybe he had some jitters opening up in front of 15,000 an SEC venue. And you got to remember Bucknell and their pitchers have been practicing indoors because the weather was brutal this winter. But as the weather's warming up, so is his right arm. He has been sensational, and Coach Heather knows as long as his club can get in that Patriot League Conference tournament, they've got a chance to do some damage. Because right behind Van Hoose has been Jeff Gottesman having a tremendous bounce-back junior campaign, who we'll talk more about in Game 2. Here's the 2-2. Induces some weak contact. Drifting back, it's Miles Moore. Sliding effort for Johnson, but he runs out of room. And the count stays 2-2. It's 330 feet down the right and left field lines, 365 in the gaps, and 400 at dead center field. Beautiful sunny day for baseball. Bucknell will end the year with 6 straight road games. They'll have a midweek contest on Tuesday at Penn State. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and then series against Lafayette and Lehigh next week. 2 away. 79th strikeout of the season for Connor Van Hoose. He has the second most strikeouts all time in Bucknell history. Two outs, nobody on, no score, top of the first inning. As the batter for the Lehigh University Mountain Hawks is James Blemming, senior, batting .293, 2 homers, 24 RBI. First pitch in for a called strike. Count 0-1. Blemming, standing at 6 foot, finance major from Royersford, Pennsylvania, had 4 hits against Bucknell last year. Lehigh lost 3 of 4 to Bucknell last year. Their lone win was a 10-2 win, and Blemming flexed his muscle on that occasion. A 2016 Patriot League All-Academic selection. Down in the count 0-2 to the league's best hurler, Van Hoose. Kicks, deals, just misses, dot in the corner. Klugerman tried to frame it to no avail. Van Hoose and Klugerman have a tremendous rapport together. You'll never see Van Hoose shake off Klugerman. I mean, they are sharing a brain. The 1-2. Slider away, 2-2. Fleming is just one of a handful of seniors on this Lehigh team. Here's the 2-2 to the shortstop. Van Hoose looking for a second straight K. Spoiling a slider as Fleming will do it again. These two teams first met in 1901. Bucknell's last NCAA tournament berth, 2014. Lehigh's was in 2015 when these seniors were freshmen. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike three. 1-2-3, quick inning for the staff ace, Connor Van Hoose. Through one half inning of play, it's none for Lehigh. Bucknell, they're coming to bat. You're enjoying Division I college baseball on Stadium and the Patriot League Network. No scores move to the bottom of the first inning as Lehigh's Levi Stout is throwing his 8 warm-up pitches. Here's the starting lineup for the Bucknell University Bison. They've got 2 of the top 10 hitters in the Patriot League. Evan Madigan has been tremendous this year, hitting at a 308 clip. And Luke Johnson is batting .317. This is a team that has won 7 of their last 9 league games. Kiefer Rawlings had a huge home run despite the midweek loss to Navy on Wednesday. And Luke Hartman is second in the Patriot League in walks drawn. The starting pitcher for the Lehigh University Mountain Hawks is Levi Stout. 6'1", right-handed sophomore from Pennsburg, Pennsylvania. Was a freshman All-American last year. 2-6 record, 2.91 ERA, 47 hits and 46 in the third innings, 46 strikeouts, 16 walks. Opponents hitting .255 against Levi Stout. Last year had a 2.34 ERA, and he's having a fine sophomore season. The first pitch to Evan Madigan is a strike. Count 0-1. Levi Stout rocks fires. And a weak ground ball to second base. Double clutching, throw to first. Good scoop by the first baseman, Tony Gallo. 1 away. Let's meet the rest of the Lehigh defense. Chris Kersey is extremely athletic at second base. Ryan Malloy in left field can cover some ground. And Jeff Schanfeld is the catcher, making his 32nd start. No score, bottom of the first inning, 1 out, nobody on for Tyler Winsig. Tyler Winsig just hit .190 last year. This year hitting .284, a homer and 11 RBI. Tied for third most walks in the Patriot League. So he's got 27 walks. Hartman's got 29. This is a very disciplined Bucknell squad as a unit. They've drawn the second most walks in the Patriot League. Fastball away. Count 2-1. Stout kicks, fires. Ground ball to short. Gobbled up. Throw to first. Routine play, 2 away. Stout's coming off an impressive outing last week against Navy. And earlier this year, he had 12 strikeouts against Holy Cross and 11 against Monmouth. He threw 2 perfect games in high school. I mean, this guy's got good stuff. This will bring up the captain, Luke Johnson, one of 6 seniors honored in this ceremony prior to first pitch. Johnson, 8th best batting average in the Patriot League at .317. No homers, 21 RBI. Takes a changeup, flutters high. Count 1-0. Johnson just looks like a baseball player. The high dark blue socks, the arm sleeve, the eye black. The 1-0. Swing and a miss in the changeup. Count 1-1. Johnson's just been a model of consistency. And he exemplifies everything that's so right with this Bucknell program. High character kids that just get better as they progress from their freshman to senior seasons. The 1-1. Breaking ball. Great hook. Hurled by Stout. Count 1-2. Stout, a biology major, was a second-team All-League selection as a freshman last year. He's their number one starter. The 1-2. Up and in, buzzing Johnson out of the way. Count 2-2. So Van Hoose threw a scoreless 1-2-3, free and easy, top of the first, out trying to match him. You know, these first games of the series are always the most fun to me. When you got the two best pitchers going at it, you just feel like whoever scores first in the driver's seat to win. Spiking that one in the turf, it's Stout. And Johnson works the count full. On deck, it's Bucknell's hottest hitter, Dom Toso, who's reached base safely 9 straight games. It'll be a 3-2 here to Johnson. Stout wheels deals. Off-speed pitch, down and away. Great take for Johnson, who was down in the count 1-2 to coax a full count walk. So that prolongs the inning. Runner on first, 2 outs for Dom Toso. The freshman's hitting .292, a homer, and 18 RBI. He's the lone freshman in the starting lineup for either team. Swing and a miss, count 0-1. You know, usually when you look at the season of a freshman, you know, it's some ups and downs. They'll have like a good 10-day stretch where they show some brilliance, and they're going to slump. But Toso's batting average has consistently been between .275 and .295. It is quite impressive. The 0-1 to the Philadelphia natives, outside 1-1. This is one of the most impactful freshmen that Coach Heather has had in his 6 years as head coach. A freshman hitting cleanup in the Patriot League, the 1-1. Up and away, 2-1. And it's rare because the Patriot League, you know, there's a lot of seniors in the Patriot League because not many of the juniors get drafted. So you would think you would have a chance for more seniors to hit in the middle of the order, in the teeth of your order. But it speaks volumes to the kind of ceiling that Toso has. Takes a strike, count 2-2. Johnson on first, he walked, no score, bottom one. Between Lehigh and Bucknell, this will be a 7-inning contest. Bucknell sitting at 9-8 in the Patriot League. Lehigh 4-10, but the standings are fickle. I mean, things can change within 1 weekend in a heartbeat. Last night, Noah Song twirled a gem against Army to snap the Black Knights' 10-game winning streak. Weak roller to second, easy fielder's choice ends the frame. Through 1 inning of play from Depew Field, there's no score between Levi Stout's Mountain Hawks and Connor Van Hoose's Bison. More fun ahead on Stadium and the Patriot League Network. Connor Van Hoose struck out a pair in a scoreless top of the first. The savvy senior is toeing the rubber again here in the second. He boasts a microscopic 0.55 ERA in 5 Patriot League starts. He has just been outstanding. 13.1 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's 16th nationally. 4 double-digit strikeout games this season. Now 210 career strikeouts for Connor Van Hoose. That's second most all-time in Bucknell University history. Only Don Richards, the class of 1956, has more strikeouts than Connor Van Hoose. He had 354. I'm Justin Answell here from Depew Field, 54 degrees and sunny on a Saturday spring day in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. 4-5-6-2 up for Lehigh, starting with first baseman Tony Gallo. The sophomore's batting .298, no homers, and 17 RBI. Last year only played in 6 games, had 2 hits and 15 at-bats. Worked really hard over the summer, and he's earned some meaningful playing time, making his 25th start of the season. Here's the 1-1 from Van Hoose. Breaking ball in for a called strike. Count 1-2. Connor Van Hoose has now thrown 13 consecutive scoreless innings, dating back to 2 starts ago. against Lafayette. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Third straight strikeout for Van Hoose. Stepping in, it's Jeff Schanfelt. The junior's hitting .255, a homer, and 12 RBI. There's 7 righties in this lineup. The only 2 lefties are Mike McGuire, the 2-hole hitter, and Blake Rappaport, the 7-hole hitter. First pitch strike, count 0-1. Connor Van Hoose had some arm problems his freshman year and never consistently saw action. He's more of a midweek guy. But he started blossoming his sophomore year. Schanfelt rolls over one, routine play. Madigan to Moore, and there's 2 away. This will bring up Ryan Malloy, the junior, hitting .204, 3 homers and 19 RBI. This is a Lehigh team that does not hit a lot of home runs, just 8 home runs on the season for the Mountain Hawks. But Malloy has 37% of them. He's got 3. But the problem with Malloy, he has 21 strikeouts and just 3 walks drawn this season. He has a really long swing, but if he gets a hold of one, it can go far. Swing and a miss. Or foul tip, I should say. Count 0-2. Malloy's from Holland, Pennsylvania, 6'1" finance major, an aspiring FBI agent. And he's just in a big-time slump. He's 2 for his last 37. The 0-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 3. 2 perfect innings for Connor Van Hoose. He has struck out 4, just toying with Lehigh batters. Through an inning and a half, there's no score from Depew Field here on Stadium and the Patriot Network. Levi Stout knows he has no margin for error when you're towing the rubber against the best pitcher in the Patriot League, and that's Connor Van Hoose. Thus far, we're scoreless as we head to the home half of the second. Levi Stout, he was a freshman All-American last year, and he's having a sensational sophomore season, a second-team All-Patriot League selection. He had 12 strikeouts against Holy Cross, 11 strikeouts against Monmouth in a non-conference series earlier this year. His lone blemish this year was a rough outing against Army 2 weeks ago. He yielded 4 runs in just 1 inning. And he took the loss in that 14-0 lopsided affair. That was part of Army's 10-game winning streak. Luke Hartman, the sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama, will try and jumpstart the home half of the second for the Herd. Hartman is such a patient hitter. Second most walks in the Patriot League, 29. Last year he was a bench player, the 4th outfielder. But when Brett Smith, Bucknell's all-time hits king, graduated last spring, that opened up a slot in the outfield for Hartman, and he's made the most of it. This is a Bucknell team that's so patient. Second most walks in the Patriot League. You see Hartman already has a 2-0 count, now a 3-0 count. So Hartman trying to draw his 30th walk of the season. Hartman's reached base safely in 6 straight games. He takes all the way in a 3-0 count. Hartman's a .255 hitter, no homers, 14 RBI. The 3-1, changeup downstairs, ball 4. Hartman has a tremendous eye. Well, the leadoff man's aboard for the Bucknell Bison. And this will bring up Evan Klugerman, who always seems to rise to the occasion in Patriot League play. The junior catcher from Western Florida has 15 RBI in the season, but 12 of them have come against league foes. He's batting .242 with a home run. Handles the pitching staff really well. There's some good catchers in this Bucknell team. Ben Smith, Alex Bauman, they all push each other, but their number one catcher is Evan Klugerman. He's got that 6'3" frame, that South Florida type swag. He's a feisty competitor. He shows bunt, and apparently it was a foul ball. It grazed the barrel of the bat. So count 0-1. Take another look at the replay there, and Klugerman tried to get the bat out of the way, but it just grazed the bottom of the barrel. So an unlucky break for the Bison. Klugerman showing bunt again, and he bunts this one right back to Levi Stout, who takes the sure out at first. This is a smart strategy for sixth-year head coach Scott Heather, the 2014 Patriot League Coach of the Year. You've got your ace on the hill. I talked about it in the first inning. Whichever team scores first is clearly going to be in the driver's seat in a matchup of two aces. You score first with Connor Van Hoose, who has a 0.55 league ERA. You feel like you're going to win the ball game. This will bring up Kiefer Rawlings. Rawlings picked up 3 RBI in the 6-4 loss to Navy on Wednesday. Rawlings is from Maryland. He was playing in Annapolis, so it was an emotional game for him, and his parents were at that game. His parents are at this one as well. One of 6 seniors honored this weekend. Rawlings battled some shoulder and knee injuries his first 2 years, but he blossomed last year and having a strong final campaign. Upstairs, count 2-0. And Rawlings has really worked on his defense as well. He's a kid that could always hit, but he really, over the offseason, paid attention to detail with his defensive skills as the battery mates have a word on the mound. Maybe go through the secondary signs of the runner on second. Also, try and calm down Levi Stout. You know, he issued the 5-pitch walk to Hartman. He's down in the count 2-0 here to Rawlings, the 7-hole hitter. Rawlings a .265 hitter, homer, 11 RBI. Got to look for a pitch to drive here. Stout with a long set. Ground ball down the third baseline. It'll be fair. Rounding third and motoring into home. It'll be Luke Hartman, and chugging into second with a double. It's Kiefer Rawlings. And the Bucknell Bison draw first blood. They grab a 1-0 lead. It's the senior that shines on senior day. 4th RBI in the last 2 games for Kiefer Rawlings. Well, that's what you want to do. When you have a runner at second, you're at home plate, you want to trade positions with that runner. So 1-0 Bucknell leads Lehigh. First pitch to Miles Moore's a 4-seamer in for a strike. Take another look at this double. Inside fastball, turned on it, hooked it fair to the third base line. Easy send for C.J. Baker as Hartman walked home. That's just great situational baseball. Leadoff walk, sack bunt, clutch hit. When you have your ace in the mound, that is the recipe to get a series opening W. It'll be an 0-2 here to Miles Moore. North Carolina native, junior. And time is called. Moore had a really good series against Duke, the 9th-ranked Duke Blue Devils, the second weekend of the year. Hit a big home run over the Blue Monster at the Durham Bulls Athletic Park. And he was in his home state of North Carolina, so that meant a lot to him. The 0-2 to Moore. Breaking ball lays off 1-2, and that's where Moore's susceptible, the off-speed stuff. Look, Moore can hit a fastball. But in the Patriot League, you've got some smart student athletes. They are going to realize tendencies and exploit the scouting report. Here's the 1-2 to Moore. Curveball. Good job of keeping his hands back just to spoil one foul. We'll do it again. One nothing Bucknell leads Lehigh on the strength of the Kiefer Rawlings RBI double. For Rawlings, it was his 12th RBI of the season, his 4th in the last 2 games as Stout steps off. Bucknell trying to win their 8th game in Patriot League play in their last 10 tries. What a bounce back second half of league season for this unit. The 1-2. Another curveball thrown to Miles Moore. Coach Heather still hasn't found his everyday first baseman yet. He uses Mike Korchak and Miles Moore majority of the time. Sometimes Tyler Winsick. Fastball dots the outside corner, 2 away. This will bring up one of the 6 seniors, Chucky Scales. Chucky hits .360 in Patriot League play, .228 overall. Remember, he got off to that subpar start where he was 1 for 23 to usher in 2018. Then he tweaked his back against Duke. No homers, 7 RBI. He's one of the fan favorites. Anytime Chucky Scales bats, he's must-watch baseball. He bunts this one on the third base line, fielded by Stout. Derek Jeter jump throw to first, not in time. Base hit on the bunt single for Chucky Scales. Well, that's why Scales is so electrifying, because he can drop down a bunt with 2 outs in a heartbeat. And this will bring up Evan Madigan. So you've got men on the corners, 2 outs. You've got your fastest runner at first base. Does Coach Heather think about a steal right here for Chucky Scales, or try and get him to run down long enough between first and second and then have Rawlings break for home, or does Lehigh just concede the steal? First pitch, low and away. Great stop by Shanfell. That saved a run. Got to act like a hockey goalie when you got a runner on third. It's a 1-0 count to Madigan. I mean, if you get caught stealing, it's not the end of the world because you have your natural leadoff hitter to lead off the bottom of the third. Here's the 1-0. Scales starts and stops. Blooper into right field on the run to make the catch. It's Ryan Bonchak. So Lehigh strands 2, but they yield 1 thanks to Kiefer Rawlings. Hooked an RBI doubled in the third base line. 1-0. Bucknell leads Lehigh here on Stadium and the Patriot League Network. The Bucknell Bison lead the Lehigh Mountain Hawks 1-0 as we start the bottom of the second on the strength of a Kiefer Rawlings RBI double. The senior third baseman has been red hot for the Bucknell University Bison. Just tallied his 4th RBI in the last 2 games. Let's take a look at that double. Gets an inside fastball, turns on it, hooks it fair to the third base line, and Luke Hartman scores from second. That's what you want to do. When you have a runner at second base, you're at home plate. You want to trade positions as Bucknell draws first blood. Kiefer Rawlings, one of 6 seniors honored in a lavish ceremony prior to first pitch. So Connor Van Hoose is armed with an early lead. First pitch is up and away to the lower third of the order, starting with 7-hole hitter Blake Rappaport, one of just 2 lefties in the lineup. The sophomore, .230 hitter, no homers, and 8 RBI. And now down in the count, 2-0. You talk to pitching coach Jason Knights. What's the most important half inning for a pitcher? The shutdown inning. After your team arms you with a lead, put up a quick 0. The 2-0, knee high for a strike. Count 2-1. Van Hoose trying to improve to 5-1 in 6 starts in the Patriot League. Here's the 2-1. Up and away, 3-1. He's thrown 5 complete games in all 5 of his Patriot League starts. Now, granted, he's pitching the first game of the series, which is always 7 innings. But still, I guarantee you if the games went longer, he could go longer. And it's a 5-pitch walk issued to Rappaport. Inauspicious start to the frame for Van Hoose.
Batting 8, the right fielder, number 5, Ryan Bonchak.
This will bring up Ryan Bonchak. The right fielder is hitting .185, no homers, 7 RBI. He's a senior that was part of the 2015 Lehigh squad that won the Patriot League tournament title. That year, Lehigh was the 4 seed in the NCAA tournament and went to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Shows bunt, pulls back, snap throw to first. Klugerman will always keep you honest. They went to Alex Bach Stadium one of the most hostile venues in all of D1 baseball. Bucknell knows what it's like to play in the SEC. They opened the 2018 campaign at Arkansas. Currently the third-ranked Razorbacks. And that's Coach Heather's alma mater. Pitched for the Razorbacks in 97 and 98. Ended up getting his degree in 2003 from Arkansas. And Bonshak pushes a bunt. Textbook fielding for Van Hoose. Sacrifice successful. And this will give Matt Hand a chance to tie the game up with a base knock. So this half inning is playing out just like the Bucknell half inning in the bottom of the second. Leadoff walk to Hartman. Klugerman bunted him over. Leadoff walk to Rappaport. Bonshak bunts him over. Now batting Matt Hand, 188 hitter, no homers, 8 RBI. Healthy cut and a hanging breaking ball, and it goes in the grandstand near some Lehigh fans. Count 0-1. Opponents only hit .201 with runners in scoring position against Connor Van Hoose. This is a cerebral senior that bears down when it matters most. The 0-1. Curveball, weak flare in a shallow right field. Sprinting in to make the catch, it's Tyler Winsig. Holding it second, it's Rappaport. And there's 2 away. This brings up Chris Keary. I wonder if Van Hoose thinks about pitching around Chris Kersey here. Kersey's hitting .354, second best batting average in the Patriot League. Nobody else on Lehigh is hitting north of 300. You have first base open. I'm not saying you intentionally walk him, but I don't give him anything tasty to hit here. He flew out to deep left center field his first time up. Grounds one to the third baseline. Foul, about 2 feet foul, wide of the bag. On deck, it's Mike McGuire, a .252 hitter. Kersey's an ideal leadoff hitter, .439 OBP. It'll be an 0-1. Second time through the order here for Lehigh. Curveball, smashed to center, on his horse. It's Chucky Scales, drifts back, and he makes the catch. Van Hoose works around the leadoff walk. He does get the shutdown inning that Jason Knights was looking for. Through 2.5 from Depew Field, it's 1-0. Bucknell leads Lehigh here on Stadium and the Patriot Network. The Lehigh University Mountain Hawks are led by 23rd-year head coach and Lehigh Athletics Hall of Famer Sean Leary. 465 career wins, most all-time. 2-time Patriot League Coach of the Year in 2006 and 2015. He was an outstanding shortstop for the Mountain Hawks, class of 1993. And he always challenges Lehigh with a rigorous non-conference schedule to set them up for the Patriot League. This year, Lehigh played at Davidson for a 3-game weekend set in March. And Lehigh took 2 of 3 from the Wildcats. That was impressive because last year Davidson made it to the Super Regionals for the first time in program history. They outlasted the North Carolina Tar Heels, the number 2 national seed at Boshamer Stadium in the regionals. What an upset. I always love when a 4 seed beats a 1 seed. It makes college baseball just scintillating. Due up for the Bucknell Bison, 2-3-4, starting with Tyler Winsig. Chases a slider away. Count 2-2. Winsig tapped to short his first time up. Tyler Winsig has played every position for Bucknell except catcher. I bring that up because on Tuesday night, a University of Texas senior, Jake McKenzie, played all 9 positions for the Longhorns. Pitch dots the outside corner. Winsig with a befuddled look. Strike 3. One away to start the third. This brings up Luke Johnson, who worked a walk.
Second baseman Luke Johnson.
But Jake McKenzie, he played all 9 positions on Tuesday night as we take a look at that 2-2 pitch. Looked outside, but the only decision that matters is the home plate umpire. The last college baseball player to play all 9 positions in one game was Buster Posey in 2008. And that year, Bucknell made the NCAA tournament and went to Tallahassee to take on Buster Posey in Florida State. We can tie it all together. And then they did beat him. One of the best wins in Bucknell program history. Since then, Bucknell made the NCAA tournament in 2014 and 2010. And this senior class, led by Luke Johnson at the plate, is trying to get back there. And I talked to Luke for a while. I had a thorough conversation with him in the preseason. He said, look, I don't want my senior class to go 4 years without hoisting the hardware, without a ring. Because the last time Bucknell won the championship, these seniors were seniors in high school. Johnson cranks one to left center field, but it hangs up long enough to be caught by Mike McGuire. So 2 outs here in the third. 1-0 Bucknell leads Lehigh thanks to the RBI double by Kiefer Rawlings. And here's Dom Toso, bouncing to a fielder's choice his first time up, trying to reach base for the 10th consecutive ball game. Toso's batting cleanup. There have been 8 different cleanup hitters this year for Bucknell. Routine grounder to short. It's a 6-3 putout to end the frame. Good bounce back inning for ace Levi Stout. Through 3 from Depew Field, 54 and sunny. We got a pitcher's duel brewing. We're going to the 4th with Bucknell leading 1-0 here on Stadium and PLN. The Bucknell Bison are led by 6th-year head coach Scott Heather in his 14th year with the program, the 2014 Patriot League Coach of the Year. The Minnesota native pitched for the Arkansas Razorbacks and was a standout in the SEC in 1997 and 1998. He's done an impeccable job with this program. When he speaks, you listen. His right-hand man has been Jason Knights, the Bucknell pitching coach, the last 7 years. Here's some other scores around the Patriot League. Bucknell softball is in Hamilton, New York for a 3-game set. They're leading Colgate 4-3, top of the third.
Center fielder Mike McGuire.
And Holy Cross and Lafayette are scoreless in the bottom of the third in Easton. Navy and Army will start a doubleheader at 3 p.m. Eastern at Doubleday Field in West Point, New York. 2-3-4 due up for the Mound Hawks. Van Hoose has faced just 1 over the minimum. That was because of a leadoff walk to Rappaport in the third. His first pitch is bunted foul by the 2-hole hitter who struck out his first time up. Count 0-1. So through 3, Van Hoose has a no-hitter. He has struck out 4. Now 82 strikeouts on the season for Connor Van Hoose. The 0-1. Outside, count 1-1. Last year as a junior, Van Hoose led the Patriot League in wins, innings, and ERA. The 1-1. In for a strike, count 1-2. Second most strikeouts in program history for number 32. Here's the 1-2. Outside, count 2-2. Van Hoose, a political science major from Alexandria, Virginia. It'll be a 2-2. Curveball buckles the knees of McGuire. Strike 3. That was a nasty-looking hook with sharp break. 1 away. 5th strikeout of the game for Van Hoose. This brings up James Blemming, the senior shortstop. 2 homers and team-leading 24 RBI for Blemming. Fleming is an extremely smart young man. His high school senior class totaled 250 people. He graduated 6th. Was in the all-academic Patriot League team in 2016. And with this start, he's now started in 136 of the team's last 137 games. He's been an Iron Man for Coach Leary's squad. The 0-2. Weak tapper to Rawlings. Hip high hop across the diamond. Steps into the throw, 2 outs. This brings up Tony Gallo, the Newton Square, PA native, who struck out swinging his first time up. Great job by our camera operators, Stefan, Drew, and Evelyn. Dave Bottomer, our Emmy Award-winning camera operator, has transitioned to graphics and replay today, and Sam Dixon's our director. In for a called strike, count 0-1. Tomorrow you can find Drew and Stefan at Christine Mathewson Memorial Stadium for Bucknell's annual spring game at 1 p.m. So good luck to those two gentlemen. Hope you stay healthy. That's the most important element of spring football. Just get the fundamentals down and come out healthy. It'll be an 0-2 here to Tony Gallo. Van Hoose looking for his 6th strikeout. The 0-2. That's the outside corner. Strike 3. Connor Van Hoose continues to dazzle. He's now thrown 16 consecutive scoreless innings. 1-0. Bucknell leads Lehigh halfway through this 7-inning affair. You're enjoying Patriot League baseball on Stadium and PLN. Construction going on at Graham Field beyond the left center field wall. They're putting in a new turf, so the field hockey team will reap the benefits of it. Starting in the fall of 2018, the women's lacrosse team is actually playing their home games across the street at the very busy Christine Mathewson Memorial Stadium. I'm Justin Antwell here on Stadium and the Patriot League Networks. There are 6 teams in the Patriot League. The top 4 qualify for the conference tournament. That's why this is such a big series between Bucknell and Lehigh. Both want to position themselves in to play serious May baseball and have a chance to get to the NCAA tournament and be a Cinderella story. Luke Hartman drew his Patriot League leading 30th walk his last time up. Bucknell leads Lehigh 1-0. Hartman scored the lone run. Klugerman sack-bunted him to second, and Rawlings drove him in on a sharp RBI double down the third base line. 2-0 here to Hartman. Catches the corner, count 2-1. Hartman put on about 10 pounds of muscle in the offseason. That's where you see the biggest strides, freshman to sophomore year. Freshman year, sometimes you come in a bit confident because you dominate in high school. Oh, I'm playing D1 baseball. Then you get a dose of humble pie, like, wow, college baseball's tough. Because everybody who plays Division I college baseball was a stud at the high school level. It wasn't just you. And then you make the counter adjustments in the summer. You get on a weightlifting program. You get on a good eating regimen. Diet and nutrition is extremely important. We've seen that pay dividends with Evan Madigan. Luke Johnson has slimmed down. 3-2 to Hartman. And he works his 31st walk of the season. What an eye for Luke Hartman. A .255 batting average, but a .445 on-base percentage. Off the charts numbers for the sophomore. His second walk of the game. Runner on first, nobody out. And let's see if Evan Klugerman wants to lay down a sacrifice bunt. Coach Heather does like to play small ball, especially when you have a pitcher that boasts a 0.55 conference play ERA, toeing the rubber for your own squad. This ball's bunted in the third base line down the turf, but it rolls foul. Matt Hand let it sift foul. Probable pitchers for Game 2 will be Jeff Gottesman for Bucknell, right-hander from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, and Jason Reynolds, the sophomore from New Jersey. The 0-1, Ground ball to second, should be 2. 4, 6, 3, double play. So that erases the leadoff walk, coaxed by Hartman. So 2 outs, nobody on. The batter is Kiefer Rawlings. If you have a name like Kiefer Rawlings, you're just bound to play baseball. Although it's kind of ironic because he's a better hitter than he is a fielder. In for a ball, count 1-0. But I've been really impressed with the growth of Rawlings the last 2 years. A high-character kid, as they all are here at Bucknell, but Rawlings is really well-spoken. The 1-1. Outside, count 2-1. Well, if you had late afternoon lunch reservations, you might be able to make it. The 2-1. Inside, count 3-1. Levi Stout knows he has no more room for error. You know, when you're throwing against Connor Van Hoose, you can't yield crooked numbers, and Rawlings did not like that call. Count 3-2. I know pitchers, you know, sometimes they'll tell you, look, I'm only worried about the nine hitters that I'm going against. In the back of your mind, you know who's pitching for the other team. If you're a pitcher and Clayton Kershaw's on the other team, you know you got to be on your game. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rawlings late on the fastball, and he is still mad about that 3-1 pitch. Through 4 from Depew Field, there is a 1-0 Bucknell lead here on Stadium and the Patriot Network. It was an emotional afternoon for Luke Johnson, Mike Korchak, Kiefer Rawlings, Chucky Scales, Mike Stevenson, Connor Van Hoose. 6 cerebral seniors honored in a lavish pregame ceremony. This is the final home weekend of play here at Depew Field. These 6 gentlemen have meant so much to this orange and blue program off the field, in the community, and on the diamond as they're trying to pioneer Bucknell to their first NCAA tournament berth since 2014. One of those 6 seniors is Connor Van Hoose. It's been all smiles for the preseason pitcher of the year. He leads the Patriot League in strikeouts with 84. He's thrown 16 consecutive scoreless innings, and this afternoon he has struck out 6, and he's working on a no-hitter through 4 frames. He'll start at the top of the 5th with Jeff Schanfeld, the catcher, who bounced to short his first time up. Schanfeld hacks at the first pitch, and Miles Moore fights the sun in front of the Lehigh dugout to make the grab. 1 away. Connor Van Hoose just continues to dazzle.
Left fielder Ryan Malloy.
This brings up the struggling Ryan Malloy, who's 2 for his last 38 over his last 13 contests. His batting average since March 17th has dropped from 304 to 204. Fires in a strike. Count 0-1. Connor Van Hoose's father was an outstanding pitcher at the University of Kentucky in the SEC, the 0-1. Swung on and fouled behind home plate, count 0-2. But you talk to Van Hoose, all this gentleman cares about is winning ball games. Connor says individual success will be a byproduct of team success. Lazy fly ball to right, and there's 2 away. This brings up Blake Rappaport. 2 outs, 1-0. Bucknell leads Lehigh, top of the 5th. Rappaport has been the only base runner for Lehigh. He worked a 5-pitch walk to start the 3rd. Ended up being stranded on 2nd. Curveball inside, count 1-0. Van Hoose struck out 12 last week against Holy Cross. This has been a bit more of an aggressive Lehigh team. You know, they've swung at some balls today, but Van Hoose still has pinpoint stuff. Laser foul. Count 1-1. But this is a Bucknell team that is built for the postseason. They're built for a 3-game series in the Patriot League tournament. They're built for an NCAA tournament regional. The 1-1, because they have Connor Van Hoose and Jeff Gottesman. And I think an underrated factor this season, and we'll probably see him in Game 2, definitely Game 3 tomorrow, is the emergence of Nate Grisius, who boasts a 1.50 ERA, sophomore also from Alexandria, Virginia, and Brandon Tuttle, a freshman from South Florida. Those two underclassmen have stabilized a bullpen that was trying to find its identity the first 2.5 months of the season. Now, those pitchers don't even need to wear cleats today, or at least for Game 1, because Van Hoose is going to take this the distance. Liner to left, Hartman there. 5 no-hit innings for Connor Van Hoose. Remember, this game's only 7 innings. 1-0. Bucknell leads Lehigh going to the bottom of the 5th here on Stadium and the Patriot League Network. 1-0. Bucknell leads Lehigh, bottom of the 5th inning. I'm Justin Antwell here on Stadium and the Patriot League Network. The difference in this one, an RBI double by Kiefer Rawlings, but the storyline for Bucknell, it's Connor Van Hoose. There you see him perched up on the top step of the dugout with a jacket over that precious right arm of his. He has struck out 6. He's walked 1 in 5 no-hit innings. And when you throw a no-hitter, nobody's supposed to talk to you. Leave that young man alone. First pitch to Miles Moore as Bucknell looks for some insurance is outside 1-0. Moore struck out looking his first time up on a fastball. Has himself a 1-1 count. Connor Van Hoose is special. He outdueled Noah Song earlier this year. Noah Song, to me, is the second best pitcher in the Patriot League. And Song yesterday threw a 9-inning 2-hit shutout against Army West Point at Fenway Park. How cool was that? And then earlier this week, Lafayette played Delaware at Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philadelphia. And then last month, the Army-Navy series was in Camden Yards in Baltimore. So some Patriot League teams have gotten some big league exposure. Just tremendous for this prestigious conference. It's a 2-2 count to Miles Moore. I'm Justin Antwell here on Stadium and PLN. Kiefer Rawlings' RBI double stands to be the difference in the 185th all-time meeting between Lehigh and Bucknell. Bucknell trying to improve to 8-2 in their last 10 Patriot League games. The 2-2. Curveball, roped foul. We'll do it again. Miles Moore is seeing a healthy dose of off-speed pitches. He's got to square one up and straighten it up here. He's 6'4". He's got power. His father played football at Appalachian State. It'll be a 2-2. Great piece of hitting from Miles Moore to poke one through the right side. Just the second hit of the game, a third hit of the game for the Bucknell Bison. Rawlings, Scales, and Moore.
Center fielder, Chucky Scales.
And this is an obvious bunt situation for Chucky Scales. I mean, to me, if I'm the third baseman, Matt Hand, I got to come halfway between home and third. He shows bunt. He puts it down the first baseline, fielded by Stout, shovels to first. Good stretch. As Chucky's retired, does his job. And Evan Madigan will bat.
Shortstop, Evan Madigan.
Evan Madigan. Batting .308, 10th best batting average in the Patriot League. The sophomore hit just .213 last year. And he bunts this one foul. Count 0-1. Madigan, along with Scales, is the best bunter on the team. Another tapper foul. Count 0-2. If you're just joining us, the storyline is Connor Van Hoose. He's hurled 5 no-hit innings, and this is just a 7-inning ball game. The 0-2. Outside. Count 1-2 to Madigan. Would love one more insurance run. You recall a few weeks ago, Connor Van Hoose took a no-hitter into the 7th inning against Army and ended up losing the game. Gave up 2 hits in that frame as Bucknell lost 1-0 because the game was scoreless. At the end of the day, you got to win this game first and then worry about the no-hitter. That's why this insurance run is big. At second. It's a 2-2 here to Madigan. Moore stays put at second base. Madigan's from South Jersey. That old school approach, no batting gloves, just kind of grip it and rip it type kid. Peppers the ball to all fields. The 3-2. Whacked foul, we'll do it again. Here's the payoff pitch. Madigan sends one to left, and Lehigh plays on a hop. Moore, head first dive into third. That was good base run by Moore because I thought that ball was going to be caught as well by Ryan Malloy. And that ball had enough hang time. To be honest, that ball should have been caught. Good base running by Moore to stay put at second, and then as soon as that ball hit the turf, he broke for third. So Bucknell had 2 hits the first 4 innings. They have 2 hits here in the 5th. And this will prompt a mound visit for veteran pitching coach John Faget. In his 6th year, former first-team All-League closer with the Lafayette Leopards in 2007. He was part of a Leopards team that won the Patriot League tournament title 11 years ago. That was the last year Lafayette made the NCAA tournament. So Bucknell set up. Teeth of the order coming up. First and third, 1 out. Tyler Winsig is 0 for 2. I wonder if Bucknell thinks about the safety squeeze. Winsig has struck out 34 times, 7th most in the Patriot League. Here's another look at that Madigan knock on the full count. Did the left fielder have time to catch this? I think he did. And they did put the safety squeeze on. Curveball away, count 1-0. The 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Winsig tied for 3rd most walks in the Patriot League at 27. Winsig's a .284 hitter. First month of the season, he hit .393. Video game type numbers. He has cooled off. Liner up the middle for a base hit. Big insurance run for the Bison. Crossing home, it's Miles Moore. 3 hits in the frame, and the Bison extend their lead at 2-0. Great piece of hitting by Tyler Winsig to take that inside fastball back where it came from, up the gut. Third time through the order, Bucknell making the necessary adjustments against Levi Stout. Here's another look. 4-seamer. on the sweet spot, and Winsig knew it. Single, sack, bunt, single, RBI, single. This brings up Luke Johnson. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Luke Johnson hits .381 with runners in scoring position. That's the occasion. The 1-0. Changeup flutters in for a strike. Count 1-1. Force anywhere except home. Slider away, count 2-1. Connor Van Hoose working a no-hitter as his team tries to pad him with more runs. Here's the 2-1. Grazes the inside corner. Bit of a liberal strike call. Count 2-2. Johnson trying to come through on senior day. We've already seen Kiefer Rawlings cash in with an RBI hit. The 2-2. Ground ball through the left side for a base hit. Fourth hit of the inning. Rounding third. Heading for home, it's Madigan. He'll score. 3-0. Bucknell leads Lehigh here in the fifth. They are getting to Levi Stout, a second-team All-League pick and a freshman All-American. Tyler Winsig at second, Johnson at first. Here's Dom Toso.
Designated hitter Dominic Toso.
There is some activity in the Lehigh bullpen. It's Peter Woltersdorf, freshman from Flemington, New Jersey at Hunterdon Central High School. First pitch up to Toso, who's trying to extend his games where he's reached on base streak to 10. 2 on, 1 out. 3-0. Bucknell leads Lehigh. But the offense today has been a footnote because the headliner has been Connor Van Hoose, working on a no-hitter through 5. The 1-1. Good hack from Toso. I mean, even his foul balls are crisp. Count 1-2. Two on, 1 out. 3 straight hits strung together by the top of the order of Madigan, Winsig, and Johnson. Here's Toso, the freshman from Philly. Curveball, grounded to second, could end the inning. And it does. But the Bucknell Bison strike for 4 hits and 2 runs. They've given their ace a 3-0 lead. We're headed to the top of the 6th here on Stadium and the Patriot Network. Connor Van Hoose continues to dazzle, now armed with a 3-0 lead. The senior right-hander has been unhittable, a no-hitter through 5. He's faced 1 over the minimum. He has struck out 6, just 53 pitches through 5 innings, 40 for strikes. He'll face 8, 9, and 1 in the order. Solid job by his offense last half inning to pad him with 2 insurance runs. RBI by Winsig, Johnson, and Rawlings today, but the offense is a footnote. Connor Van Hoose
Right fielder Ryan
continues to twirl. You see Van Hoose, he writes the number 11 behind the pitcher's mound before every half inning because his best friend in high school passed away, and he was on his baseball team and wore number 11, and Van Hoose always thinks about that friend. Bunted. Right to Klugerman. Gets an angle, throws to first, and the throw is wide. That is an error, so the no-hitter is alive. A better throw gets him. Absolutely, that was an error. Just the second base runner for Lehigh. That's one of those unwritten rules. Like, do you bunt in the middle of a no-hitter? Remember a few years ago, Justin Verlander and Jared Weaver got really upset. And we've got a pinch hitter here for Lehigh.
Batting for hand, number 11. Check at 31, Tyler Schreiner.
Tyler Schreiner is the batter from Fogelsville, Pennsylvania. In for a called strike, 0-1. So a leadoff error. The tying runs in the on-deck circle for Lehigh. Remember, most importantly, you think about winning the game, and then you're happy for the no-hitter. It'll be an 0-1. Curveball in for a called strike, count 0-2. But, talking to pitching coach Jason Knights, he says it's imperative that we take advantage of every Connor Van Hoose and Jeff Gottesman start from here on out. We know these guys are going to keep us in games and give us a more than probable chance of winning. The 0-2. Low and in, 1-2. Van Hoose, he's a smart kid. He knows what's going on. Sometimes pitchers will tell you, I didn't even know I had a no-hitter. Oh, he knows. He definitely knows. Last month against Army, he had a no-hitter into the 7th inning, the 1-2. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. Schreiner goes down, 7th strikeout for Van Hoose, 5 1/3 no-hit innings.
Second baseman Chris Kersey.
This brings up Chris Kersey, who has the best chance of breaking up this no-hitter. A .354 hitter, second best batting average in the Patriot League. He's flown out to deep left center and socked one to the warning track in dead center. He has squared the ball up twice, very sharply. Kersey had 5 hits in one game last Saturday against Navy. Bloops one into right. Winstig there to make the grab. 2 outs. Van Hoose, 4 outs away from history. This will bring up Mike McGuire. McGuire has struck out twice. Sophomore from Franklin Park, New Jersey, 5'9" business major. He's a .252 hitter. Last year was 1 for 18. Throw over to check on the runner. So Connor Van Hoose just got the toughest Lehigh hitter out. There have been 2 base runners all day. Bucknell leads Lehigh 3-0. Changeup catches the outside corner. Count 0-1. Everything's been working for Van Hoose. Using all 4 quadrants. His secondary pitches, he's snapping in for strikes. He's dotting his fastball. Hasn't shaken Klugerman off once. He's been operating from the windup majority of the time, but he's still comfortable from the stretch. Breaking ball inside. Count 1-1. On senior day, he was flanked by his parents in the pregame ceremonies. What a special moment here for the senior from Alexandria, Virginia. He's got a really quick pickoff move for a righty as well. Van Hoose is one of the most engaging student athletes here at Bucknell. He's really fun to talk to, and he deserves all the success. He yielded 7 runs in an inning and a third to Arkansas, But since then, he's only allowed 8 runs in his last 9 starts. One-two count. Van Hoose eyeballing his 8th strikeout. More importantly, trying to complete his 6th no-hit inning. McGuire trying to avoid his 3rd strikeout. We'll have to wait. Here's the 1-2. Good stop by Klugerman. Count 2-2. This inning should be over if Klugerman had fielded the bunt properly, but he airmailed the throw down the right field line. For just the second base runner for Lehigh. It'll be a 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 8 strikeouts for Connor Van Hoose through 6 no-hit innings. We are going to the 7th. Bucknell 3, Lehigh none. More ahead on Stadium and PLN. 6 no-hit innings for Connor Van Hoose. That's why he's all alone on the top step of the dugout. The senior on senior day has tossed a gem. One more inning, and then he will have tossed the 5th no-hitter in Bucknell program history. He has struck out 8. He's walked 1. There was only another additional base runner, and that came via a throwing error by Evan Klugerman. New pitcher in the ball game for Lehigh. It's Peter Woltersdorf, freshman from Flemington, New Jersey. That's what happens when you're throwing a no-hitter. You're all alone. Nobody's talking to you. So Woltersdorf is throwing his warm-up pitches.
Attention, please. Defensive changes for Lehigh. Moving from first base to third base is number 32.
Let's get you some stats here on Woltersdorf. He's 4-0 with a 2.16 ERA, 25 innings, 17 hits, opponents hitting 200. Due up, Hartman, Klugerman, and Rawlings. Hartman has walked twice, now leads the Patriot League in walks at 31. Curveball upstairs, count 1-0. Due up for Lehigh in the top of the 7th inning. It would be the teeth of their order, 3, 4, 5. That's who Van Hoose would have to navigate through if he wants to hurl the 5th no-hitter in Bucknell baseball history. The last no-hitter was in 2004, fittingly against Lehigh, tossed by Matt Daly. There was one in 98. It was a combined no-hitter. Mike Tomko and Matt Patalivo against Niagara. Kurt Wallner threw one against Lafayette in 93. And Don Richards, Bucknell's all-time strikeout king, hurled one against Franklin and Marshall. Don Richards is the only player who has more strikeouts than Connor Van Hoose in Bucknell history. Everybody foaming at the mouth to see how Connor Van Hoose will fare in the 7th inning. Klugerman has a sac bunt and a ground out. Slider nearly hit him. Count 2-0. Well, it's been the seniors shining on senior day. Offensively, we've seen RBI from Rawlings and Johnson. And then the headliner has been Connor Van Hoose. The 2-1 is flip foul. Trying to do something that hasn't been done in 14 years in Bucknell baseball history. Little tap or foul, we'll do it again. It'll be a 2-2 here to Klugerman, who calls time. And that plunked him. On the right shin, hobbling down to first will be Evan Klugerman. That can't help a catcher who's got a squat. So 1 on, 1 out. Bucknell will look to add some insurance runs. The batter is Kiefer Rawlings. Rawlings is 1 for 2 with an RBI double. He broke the scoreless tie back in the second. 4 RBIs last 2 games. Fastball away, 1-0. Count 2-0 here to Rawlings. Great jump from Klugerman, liner into the netting behind home plate. That's a situation where Rawlings, when you realize the runner has that great of a jump, you can't be swinging there. I mean, Klugerman would have stolen second uncontested. He might have touched second before the ball touched the catcher's mitt. That's how great of a jump he got. And if you're Rawlings, look, you got a 90-mile-per-hour pitch coming right at you. It's easy for me to say up here, but still, maybe using your peripheral vision, you got to see Klugerman got a good jump. And it wasn't like there was 2 strikes where you had to protect the plate. It was a 2-0 count. You had room to take a pitch there. Throw over to check on Klugerman. Klugerman's 4 for 5 in stolen bases. He's got the second most steals in the team. He's a catcher. He's a very good base runner. And you can be a good base runner without being fast. And it works the other way, too. You can be a very fast runner and be a terrible base runner. You know, base running is about anticipation, taking good angles, reading pitchers' leg kicks, knowing the situation, the inning, the score, the count, the feel of the game. A lot of intangible aspects to base running. Getting a good jump, a hard secondary lead. I'm sure it helps to be fast. But you can have pedestrian speed and be an above-average base runner. 3-2 count. Let's see if they send Klugerman here. Rawlings been swinging the bat well. He does not go, and that plunks him on the back. Lehigh unraveling. 2 on, 1 out. 3-0 Bucknell leads Lehigh. Bottom 6. Miles Moore is the batter. Wolzersdorf has no feel for his release point. He's all over the place.
First baseman Miles Moore.
Game 2 of the doubleheader will be about 30 minutes after the conclusion of Game 1. If Connor Van Hoose tosses the no-hitter, we'll catch up with him after the game. In for a called strike, count 0-1. In every no-hitter, there's usually like one great play where you're just like, wow, what if that play didn't happen? Then there would never be a no-hitter. There really hasn't been any of those. You know, I'm looking back at my scorecard here. Maybe the first batter of the game, Kersey, sent one to deep left center field. That was a well-struck out. Kersey also flew out to the warning track in center, but there wasn't like a diving web gem type play. It's just been 8 strikeouts and routine pop-ups and grounders. Seven flyouts, 8 strikeouts, and 3 groundouts.
He might have run over to tennis to shoot some of that. I just texted him to have him come back over here.
It's a 2-2. Miles Moore reaches for a slider. Sky-high pop, infield flies called. Catch is made nonetheless, 2 away. Remember, looking ahead of the top of the 7th inning. 3-4-5 due up for Lehigh.
Center fielder Chucky Scales.
Chucky Scales, 1 for 1 with a sac bunt, and we are going to have a pitching change. So when we come back, we'll tell you who the new pitcher is. 3-0, Bucknell leads Lehigh here on Stadium in PLN. Chucky Scales will try and stump the Schwab. Buck Schwab, savvy southpaw, sidewinder, throwing his 8 warm-up pitches. 5'11" from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. He's 0-1 with a 4.43 ERA. Yielded 20 hits in 11 2/3 innings. Opponents hitting .385 against Schwab. If you're just joining us, though, Connor Van Hoose has been the storyline. No hitter through 6 innings. He's tossed just 64 pitches. He has struck out 8, induced 7 flyouts and 3 groundouts. Chucky Scales will bat. Scales is 1 for 1 with a sac bunt. RBI hits by Rawlings, Johnson, and Winsig in this game. Nice looking slur for a strike. Count 0-1. 2 on, 2 out. 3-0 Bucknell leads Lehigh. Bottom of the 6th inning of a 7-inning ball game. Fist one out in foul territory, and it's caught. All right, history could be brewing here at Depew Field. We're going to the 7th. Connor Van Hoose, 1 inning away. More ahead on Stadium and PLN. Senior Connor Van Hoose is 3 outs away from tossing the 5th no-hitter in Bucknell baseball history. He's faced just 2 over the minimum through 6 innings. His squad leads Lehigh 3-0. I'm Justin Antwell here from beautiful Depew Field on Stadium and the Patriot Network. The last Bucknell no-hitter was hurled by Matt Daly, ironically against Lehigh 14 years ago. But Van Hoose, the preseason pitcher of the year, will have to navigate through the teeth of the Mountain Hawks order. 3-4-5. He's thrown 64 pitches, struck out 8, induced 7 flyouts and 3 groundouts. Starting things off, it's Tony Gallo.
Attention, please.
Gallo's 0 for 2
Strong.
with 2 strikeouts.
Now playing first base, number 12, Mike Korchak.
Bucknell is tightening up his defense. P.J. Strom now in center field, and Mike Korchak at first base. First pitch, curveball in for a called strike, count 0-1. So Scott Heather wants to get his best defensive unit out there to keep this no-hitter intact. Looper in a shallow right, Winsing on the run, hangs up long enough, one away. Off the bat, looked like it may drop. Now batting Jeff Shenfield. Shenfield, 255 hitter. There have only been 2 hard-hit balls all day against Van Hoose, and they came off the leadoff hitter's bat, Chris Kersey's. Sharp line out to left center, and then he skied one to the warning track in the third. The 1-0. Up and away, 2-0. Connor Van Hoose has also tossed 18 consecutive scoreless innings dating back to his last 3 starts. Came into this outing with a 0.55 Patriot League ERA. And it's a 3-0 count to Shenfield. Ball 4, just the third base runner yielded by Connor Van Hoose. Tying run in the on-deck circle for the Mountain Hawks. And this brings up Jeff Shenfield, excuse me. So this is Shenfield. He's 0 for 2. 1 on, 1 out. 3-0. Bucknell leads Lehigh. Fastball dots the outside corner. Count 0-2. Van Hoose could be 1 pitch away. A double play ends this ball game and caps the no-hitter. Or he could get his 9th strikeout. The 0-2. Just off the plate. Count 1-2. Middle infielders pinching up the middle. Runner on first, 1 out. Connor Van Hoose, a no-hitter through 6 1/3. Trying to become the 5th Bison hurler to toss a no-no. Sky-high pop. Hangs up long enough for Chucky Scales. 2 away. And it all comes down to Ryan Malloy. Ryan Malloy is in a massive slump. He's 2 for his last 39 over his last 13 games. Runner on first, 2 outs. Connor Van Hoose, 1 out away from a no-hitter. The senior political science major from Alexandria, Virginia, battled arm issues his freshman year, and he's currently 2nd all-time in Bucknell history in strikeouts. Trying to win for the 5th time in his last 6 games, and more importantly, complete the no-hitter. Crank down the left field line. Scales giving it a good look, but it goes foul near the batting cage. Count 0-1. Malloy, just a 204 hitter. Three runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Bucknell. No runs and no hits for Lehigh. Connor Van Hoose 1 out away from the 5th no-hitter in Bucknell baseball history. Fastball away, snap thrown to the first, he got him! And the no-hitter's complete! Connor Van Hoose twirls a gem. A no-hitter ends on a pickoff. And the Bison swarm their fearless leader. (1956, 1993, 1998, 2004, and now 2018. Congratulations to Connor Van Hoose. He tosses a no-hitter.
Bucknell pitcher Connor Van Hoose has just thrown the 5th no-hitter in Bucknell baseball history.
Wow. 8 strikeouts, 7 innings, no runs, and no hits on senior day, flanked by his parents. Here's a look at the final out. What an inning to a no-hitter. Mike Korchak sneaks behind Gallo, and the tag is provided. What an inning to a no-hitter. And how about this? It was Klugerman that committed the error, and then it's Klugerman who throws out the runner napping at first base. What a moment. Connor Van Hoose is greeted by his teammates. Unbelievable. Just the 5th no-hitter in Bucknell baseball history. 8 strikeouts, and he's got that baseball. Had his parents by his side. Wow. Well, we're going to catch up with Connor Van Hoose. Let's find out what the senior was thinking. No-hitter. What a J. And Bucknell gets the win, 3-0. Post-game ahead here on Stadium and PLN. Senior Connor Van Hoose makes history at DePue Field, tossing just the 5th no-hitter in Bucknell baseball history. I'm Justin Answell, joined by the star of the game as Bucknell wins 3-0. Connor, congratulations. How'd you do it?
Thank you. It's pretty much a team effort out there. With Kluge behind the plate, I know I can spike a curveball whenever I want, and having him back there gives me all the confidence in the world, especially going up early in the game and knowing that with the way I've been throwing it, I don't think I'm going to give up any runs. My team's really behind me on that. They score a couple, and they're backing me up, and they're thinking defense at that point. So for that to be the mentality at the end of the game was huge.
You in the no-hitter on a snap throw down to first base. What's the excitement like? Kind of anticlimactic, but you got the job done.
I was kind of hoping to get it on a strikeout, but I'll take it. I mean, I was getting nervous out there at the end, and then for him to do that and save me and get that last out, and then my roommate Mike Korchak making the tag, I mean, that's just huge. I couldn't have imagined any better than that.
You only threw 74 pitches. Can you throw game 2?
I'm ready. Put me back out there. I think I could do it. But nah, we got Jeff on the mound, and our mentality every time I go out there, as Jeff says, I'm going to one-up you. So I don't know how he's going to one-up this one, but I look forward to seeing him.
Maybe a perfect game.
I can see it. I can see it happening.
All right. Is there ever a moment where you're thinking about the no-hitter? Because we had shots of you in the dugout. Nobody's talking to you. You got your jacket on. When are you thinking about a no-no in a 7-inning game?
Yeah, I start to realize what's going on when all of a sudden, after about the 5th inning, nobody started talking to me. Usually everyone's coming up to me, talking to me between innings, but today, all of a sudden, nobody was there. And I started looking up. I was like, okay. All right, well, this is a bit nerving, but all right, let's do this. So it was pretty cool, and I didn't really notice it until the last couple innings.
You got some run support early from your senior best friend, Kiefer Rawlings. How much did that mean to you?
Oh, it was awesome. To see Kiefer come out on senior day and just step up. Luke also with a hit, Korchak in the end. I mean, those are guys that they love today because it's an honor of them. And for all of us to come out and do something productive today is huge. I can't wait to see what Mike Stevens does this weekend. Chucky obviously getting that bunt single and playing defense behind me is huge too.
And you had your parents here on senior day. How special is this?
Yeah, that's crazy. I did not expect this, but oh man, for having everybody out here, it's a good weekend to do it.
What's changed with Bucknell? 2-6 the first 8 games in conference play. Now you've won 8 of your last 10.
I know. Yeah, no, we believe it's a sort of a change of mindset for us. We think that when we go out there and we throw the ball, there's nobody that can beat us. We know that coming off weekends we didn't play too well against Navy, but then stepped it up against Army. And then the second weekend against Army, we really played well, and that was a turning point for us because we started to get confident in ourselves. We know that, I'm not going to – if I go out there, they're going to give me 3 or 4 every single time, and they're going to do it every game. And I think that's what changed for us. We really believe in ourselves now.
Your roommate Mike Korchak ended it with his tag at first base. Did he give you back the ball?
Oh, yeah, I kept the ball. I got the ball. I'm not giving that thing away.
Where's it going?
Right now, probably go to my mom. Probably going to hand that one off to my mom for the rest of the day.
You made senior day so special. Congratulations, continued success. A no-hitter for Connor Van Hoose. I can't wait to see you start next week.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Connor Van Hoose, I'm Justin Answell. Thanks to so much for our outstanding crew here from Depew Field, for Drew Newcomb, Stefan and Evelyn, Sam Dixon, and Dave Bottomer in the bunker. I'm Justin Answell. Bucknell, they complete the no-hitter against Lehigh, 3-0.